I may be posting this video on a Friday, but it is not actually Black Friday, or is it? Because these brands are acting like it's already Black Friday. So today I'm going to cover some of the earliest sales, my recommendations, get ready with me products that are already on a pretty good discount. I have some exclusive codes for you guys and some great recommendations of products that I genuinely love and would recommend if you feel like shopping. And even though I say it every year, I live for the hustle, bustle, rush, FOMO of Black Friday back in the day when you only literally could shop on that one Black Friday. It is nice that you have some time, some space to decide what and when you want to order. And these brands are giving you that more calm shopping experience. So I'm going to cover some of the sales that are currently going on that are my favorite and that I think are still really, really good. Of course, they're definitely better than what you can get during the Sephora sale. These are some of my all-time favorite brands. And when it comes to these Black Friday sales, Cyber Week sales, these brands might change things up. They might add on, more gift with purchases, throw up some bundles. So keep an eye out still on these brands because I'm sure some of them are going to add even more later on. But again, if you want the Zen experience, you can start shopping these brands right now. So I am sharing with you my favorite products from the deals. I feel like I could do a whole dedicated video per brand. I'm not going to do that, but some of the best sales, in my opinion, that are going on right now that you can shop right now. My favorite tool brands. This is a great time if you need to refresh your brushes or add some new brushes to your collection. My two favorite brands are having really good sales. First of all, BK Beauty is having 20 to 35% off site-wide, depending on what you get. For the first time, the Nikki La Rose Volume 2 set is going to be on sale. I believe it's 20% off, but her Volume 1 is at an even higher percentage off. The Angie Han Flashy set, which has some of my most used brushes. So I'm going to be sharing with you what BK Beauty brushes I'm using. I'll probably do a short of like my top 5 recommendations just to narrow that down. But for now, I'm just going to use what's in front of me. Rephr, of course, are known for their sales always throughout the year, but of course their Black Friday sale tends to be of a better value. When it comes to Rephr, I love Rephr for their eye brushes in particular. So I will be using some of their brushes for my eyes today, but definitely check out their website to check out the deals that they have. They also gave me a code that you can stack on top of the Black Friday deals, only excluding like the big brush sets, which already have a great discount. But on the smaller sets, if you use the code Morgan15, you can get an additional 15% off of the already discounted Black Friday deals. So check those out if you need brushes. I do also have an exclusive code with Chantecaille, though it might be public now. I'm a little late to posting this, but anyways, if you still want to use my code to support me, I would appreciate that. You know how I feel about Chantecaille. I won't pay full price for Chantecaille. I will only shop Chantecaille around sales like this because they're having 30% off site-wide with my code Morgan30. So I threw in a couple of my Chantecaille favorites today because with how expensive Chantecaille is, 30% off is amazing. Patrick Ta, the most disappointing sale of today's video, 20% off site-wide, but Patrick Ta does not have sales very often. If you are not Sephora Rouge, this is a time that you can get 20% off of Patrick Ta. So I have some of his items in today's video. Huda Beauty is having her Cyber Craze sale, which they have all types of gift with purchases. It's officially open to the public. They have up to 80% off, which the 80% off is like not very good, but there's some things at 30 and 40 and 50% off that I think are pretty good. So it's worth checking out. They always have crazy sales. So that's open to the public. Natasha Denona is 25% off site-wide, as well as 30% off custom bundles. Also has some gift with purchases. I believe it's 30% off custom bundles where you choose what you want in the bundle, and then 40% off of their curated bundles. That's really good if you've had some Natasha stuff on your wish list. See if anything fits in with that. At base though, 25% off of everything Natasha Denona. Amazing. Laura Mercier, I'm like Laura Mercier's biggest cheerleader. I think their products are very, very nice. So I have some of my favorites in today's video. 25% off site-wide. You must be logged into your account for that one, but that one's really good. I put some of my staples in today's video to share with you because I feel like they're just an underrated brand. And I think that's all I'm covering for today. There are more sales. I think Pat McGrath is having a great sale that I'm going to shop from. Urban Decay is 30% off. So there's a few here and there, but these are the ones that I'm covering because I couldn't talk about all of them. Sorry for that long intro. Let's get to applying makeup. Also, sorry, more housekeeping. I am tagging the products via YouTube Shopping. However, I would recommend for most of these, if you're going to shop it, to use my links in the description box because YouTube Shopping is not affiliated with all of the brands that I'm mentioning, so you can only get the discount on these brands' websites, which my links will take you to. So, let's beat this face. So to prime my face, this is my most recommended thing from Chantecaille ever. This is one of their products where I pay full price for this. This is that amazing to me. So for 30% off, this to me is like the number one thing from Chantecaille. I would recommend. I'm not telling you to buy it, but I'm saying I would recommend it. This is the Chantecaille Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint. This is one of my all-time favorite primers as a gal with dry skin. Now, the reason that I love this so much is I always say Chantecaille's specialty is skincare. They create amazing skincare formulations that are fantastic for your skin, but this is that hybrid from skincare into makeup because it does leave the most beautiful, sheer, rosy tint behind that just gives the face some life. You can wear it on its own or it looks beautiful under makeup. And because it's that amazing Chantecaille skincare moisturizer, it has all of the benefits for the skin. My dry skin eats, I guess, drinks it up. And yeah, it is a crazy price point. I must acknowledge that. I'm not like, I don't need to touch grass. However, if you wanted to treat yourself, 30% off. This is my favorite product from them. My skin loves it so much, and I think it leaves the prettiest sheer glow rose face tint behind. Like, no glitters in sight, but look at that glow. It feels phenomenal on my skin. So I had to mention that. A couple foundations that I think are amazing that are on sale. First of all, Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation, of course. I've just used that one so much recently that I'm not going to use it again. But if you've been wanting that, 25% off, and I believe it might be featured in a couple custom bundles, so then you can get a little bit of a discount on that. But I wanted to bring you an actual deal for an actual good product. So within the Huda Beauty craze of a sale, this Easy Blur Airbrush Foundation is 40% off, making it only $22.20. I especially recommend this for oily skin, but I can get it to work on my dry skin, especially with that Chantecaille base. I'm using the shade 220 Custard, and it's just blending in flawlessly with that Chantecaille base. And then for a brush, I'm going to use the 106 brush from BK Beauty. It's a little bit of a taller dome brush. BK Beauty has fabulous foundation brushes. I use multiple brushes for foundation from BK Beauty. I've been enjoying this one recently because my face is kind of small. My head, kind of small in general. So sometimes I feel like foundation brushes are a little too big on my face. So I like this one because I can take my time really working out the foundation without it getting everywhere. I can just be a little bit more precise. But this foundation, you can get it to look much more matte depending on what base you use. Obviously, I use something more glowy and hydrating, so this foundation isn't going to dry out my skin too much as a dry skin gal. Concealer. I have the best options for you depending on what you want. The more affordable option, the one on bigger discount, is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. This one is actually 30% off, so you can get it for $21.70. This one is a little bit more matte, but it sets down and it doesn't crease. Great for oily skin. Even though I have dry skin, I still really, really enjoy this concealer. I like how this one is perfecting, and I don't always need something super hydrating. I don't mind a matte concealer if it doesn't look drying and it lasts and sets and needs minimal powder. That is why I love this. This is one of my favorite full coverage glam event evening concealers, and it's like 20 bucks. But of course, one of my all-time favorite concealers would be the Natasha Denona High Glam. So this one is 25% off too. This one is more hydrating, I would say. It's pretty full coverage, a little bit more flexible on the skin. So it just depends on what you want. They're both equally amazing, and they're both very different from one another. You can't go wrong with either. Since I used Huda Beauty foundation, I will use Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. So I'm starting off with the shade N1, and then I'm using just a little bit of N5, which is just a little bit deeper. And then for the brush to blend these out, the best concealer brush of all time is the A506 from BK Beauty, which I believe you can get a free one of this as one of their gift with purchase deals. And it is my most used concealer brush. It's just the best shape ever, doesn't soak up any product, and I believe it's a gift with purchase, which is incredible. Do you see how hydrating this concealer is? But it still gives such amazing full coverage. I highly recommend this for mature skin, and then it's also fabulous if you want to just put a couple dots all over your face if you don't have anything on, and just really sheer it out. Still lightly even out the complexion, you know? Make yourself look a little bit more put together. But it's also gorgeous in full coverage situations. I'm also going to take the A505 brush, which is, I mean, all of the BK Beauty is synthetic fiber. But you see how this one is. Just going to clean up under my brows just to get a nice shape going. One thing I do really appreciate about the Huda Beauty sale is that they do have some best sellers at like 30% off, including my all-time favorite setting powder. So if this is also a favorite of yours, this is 30% off on the Huda website. It's the Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder. I'm going to do it just on one side of my face because there is another powder that I would love to recommend you, but this one is my all-time favorite, most used setting powder. So I'm just going to pop this in the T-zone area, and then it's just the best when it comes to setting the under eyes. I don't have any cream cheek. No, I do. Don't listen to me. I'm lying. Ignore. But the cream cheek products I'm using are so fabulous over powder anyways. But that's how the Huda Beauty looks. But we have an underdog here. Deserves more attention. The Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Under Eye Setting Powder, along with their Camouflage Powder Brush. These two together have been giving Huda a run for its money. I recommend this little duo every chance I can get because this makes my concealer pretty darn creaseless. So I like this mostly for the under eyes. Make sure you blend out all the creases. It's just such a lightweight powder, and then with this brush, it deposits the lightest amount of powder as well, the thinnest layer. And so I find it can help any concealer's wear time. It's really, really incredible. So this pretty much stops creasing to, you know, a reasonable degree. Let's be realistic about our facial features here, but this does some incredible things to concealer wear. So I have to recommend this since you can get them for 25% off. And I do think the brush as well makes a difference. This paddle style brush, the way that it presses in the powder, this is probably my favorite product from Laura Mercier right now. This has made its way into everyday product for me. Now, if you are interested in a cream bronzer, you could always make your way over to the Patrick Ta website and get 20% off of their cream and powder duo. I wanted a little bit more interesting because I am going to use the cream blushes from Patrick Ta next. So I thought I'd show off the Laura Mercier Bronze Color Infusion Bronzer. This is a nice little bronzer. I'm going to apply it with the BK Beauty 104 brush. I love a big fluffy brush like this when it comes to applying bronzer. This is a solid powder bronzer formulation. There is a sculpting side and a glow side, or you can do what I'm doing and mix them together, especially if you're going for more of an effortless, easy look, which is what I'm doing. Just a really nice powder formulation. I mean, I'm not gonna say this is the best bronzer you'll ever use, but it's a really nice one from Laura. And I was just looking at the other brands that we have sales going on right now, and there wasn't really a bronze product that spoke to me as like an all-time must-have, so that's why I grabbed for this one, which is really, really nice. I have the shade number 10, but I'll have that all mentioned in the description box. But that gave us a nice little sun-kissed bronze without being too obnoxious. It kept everything pretty natural. Of course, one of the things you're gonna have to run to is the Patrick Ta website if you are into his cream, blush, and powder duos. Like I said, he also does have this in a bronzing style as well. But these are one of his most loved products. The best brush, I think, to apply a cream blush with is the 109 brush from BK Beauty. It's the older sister of the A506. I'm just gonna apply this on one cheek. This is the shade Not Too Much. This is the best shape here for cream blush. But I use this brush for everything. That's what's incredible about it. I'll use it for cream bronzer all the time. I'll use it for cream blush. I'll use it for my foundation. Shoot, sometimes I'll even use it for concealer, though I do prefer the A506 for that. But bronzer, blush, foundation, I use this for everything. It's my do-it-all brush. And then this blush is looking really pretty. And then I'm going to use the N20 brush from the Nikki La Rose Volume 2. I really like this. It's a stipple brush, so you can get a really nice wash of powder on the cheek, which is especially great for combos like this where you're doing cream first and powder on top, because the cream is sticky. So a lot of times when you set with a powder, it can stick to the cream blush and then you have too much pigment all of a sudden. So this really allows you just to veil that blush on. It's really, really fantastic for this method. Now, my next couple of recommendations, you're gonna punch me in the face. Like, you're gonna beat me up, and rightfully so, because they're $105. But I was thinking, right, with Chantecaille, if you can get 30% off, this is how you save money. You save 30 bucks. It's still crazy price. I'm not recommending it. I mean, I am, but like,
$4.95, 40% off, 40% off, 40%.
Bear with me, just let me use it, okay? I recommended the Patrick Ta. Those are a lot better. So, Chantecaille's holiday collection, absolutely stunning. And I did a whole luxury holiday collection video try on, and the only bad thing I had to say about this was the price, but like, gorgeous. So I'm gonna use them today. This is the biggest discount you can get on them if you're interested. So this is the Chantecaille Radiant Blush from their holiday collection. Now don't complain in the comments. You can beat me up, okay? I'm not like recommending it to you, I'm just putting it on. That's all. I'm just putting it on because it's a glowy blush that doesn't emphasize texture and leaves the softest angelic glow to the skin for the holidays. I mean, come on. By the way, I'm using an A507 blush brush from BK Beauty to apply this. And then, just to top it off, I'm just going to use the Cheek Light from the holiday collection with the SN20 from Nikki La Rose. I'm just getting a little bit more of a pinpointed highlighter application. That this just so happens to give that perfect glow from within. Not too much, not too little. You can't tell where the product starts and stops. Not telling you to get it. Just putting it on. Because wow. That's all. Let's keep it moving. There wasn't like a setting spray really from any of the brands right now that knocked my socks off. So I'm just going to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Hydrating Setting Spray that they also say is Ultra Blur. I'm still testing it out. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but this is just what I'm going to use to set the powders in. I love the mist on this though. Obviously, there's tons of opportunities for amazing eyeshadows, particularly with the Natasha Denona sale. But I wanted to like talk about a banger, a really good deal for you guys. One of my favorite Huda Beauty palettes is 50% off the Rose Quartz palette, making it $34.50. You have really gorgeous like pinky gray hues here. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy with the look today, but you can get some gorgeous looks with this palette. I've done stunning looks over the times that I've had it. I think $35 for this palette is a phenomenal deal. So I'm just using the shade Gratitude with a BK Beauty 201 brush. It's a really nice, big, fat, fluffy blending brush. I'm just running this across the crease. I'm actually not putting any definition in the outer corner. I'm going for a more open-eyed, awake look. Then I'm using a Rephr number 14 mini brush, and I'm going into Aura. I'm running this along the lower lash line. And then I'm also going to do windshield wiper motions, again, staying out of the outer corner in my crease or the socket of the eye right here. And then I'm gonna go back into my BK Beauty fluffy brush, and I'm just going to soften that. We'll probably add more of that deepening shade eventually. I'm taking a number 2 brush from Rephr, one of my favorite flat shader brushes. I'm going into Quartz here in the upper corner. It's kind of like a light pinky coppery shade. Really, really stunning. And I'm just gonna fill in my entire eyelid like so. So I want to keep it nice and bright. And then the definition up here towards the top. A little bit of Cherished, which is a brighter pink, but I thought it'd be fun to just put it underneath my brow bone here. A little ill-fitting, but whatever. We're having fun with it. And then I'm taking one of the best pencil brushes. This is the number 3 brush from Rephr. Let's go into Self Love. Pop this in the inner corner. That's all I'm doing for today's look. I've done so many looks with this palette over the years that I've had it. It's one of my favorites, so I think that it's phenomenal that it's 50% off, even though she's not making big palettes anymore. I still like them a lot because I still am a palette girl, though I am into more simple eye looks nowadays, as you guys can tell, even with the look I did today. Particularly simple looks that I can create with eyeshadow sticks. So one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow sticks, Laura Mercier, of course, is going to be 25% off. So I just wanted to give this one a little shout out to that. My all-time favorite eyeshadow sticks, if you're looking for something simpler than powder eyeshadows, less messy, the Laura Mercier ones are my favorites. They don't fade, they don't crease, they blend out like powder eyeshadow, they have mattes and shimmer finishes, so definitely recommend looking into these. And then eyeliner, today I'm gonna go with an eyeliner that I like. So it would be 25% off from Natasha Denona. This is the Macro Tech Eye Crayon. It's not like a must-have from the brand, but she does do a nice eyeliner. So I'm just gonna put this waterline, upper lash line. Give us a little bit of a smokier blend. Like I said, it's not, you know, a standout in general, but she does have a good liner formula. You know, I really like the Patrick Ta liners, but he doesn't have them or his mascara on his website for some reason. They are on Sephora, which I find strange. But anyways, that's why I'm not recommending those, because I do like the Patrick Ta liners and mascaras. Or mascara. Taking my number 3 brush from Rephr, smudging this, and I'm just running this along my upper lash line. You know what? I think with the Nikki collab, I'm gonna use the N23 brush just to smudge over the liner because I'm looking for something soft today, just some soft definition. And there's actually, from the brands that I'm mentioning today, I don't have any mascara recommendations. So I'm just going to do my lashes and I'll be back. Just threw on some Velour Cloud 9 lashes. These are my favorite from them. Obviously, they're quite glam, but I'm trying to bring glam back. It's the holidays. Anyway, so for lips, I was thinking, like, what are some of my favorite lip products that are on sale? And I love Natasha Denona lip liners. However, I do really love the Laura Mercier lip liners. They're softer. They don't really set down. The Natasha Denona is more of a gel formulation. These ones are more natural and they have more natural colors. I really, really love the Laura Mercier ones for everyday wear. So I thought I'd recommend those since I don't talk about those as much, but I really love them. In case you need the shades, I have Delicate Nude, Plush Pink, Brown Tulle, Elegant Blush, Rosewood, which is probably my most used. Then we have Opulent Peach, Red Velvet, Lavish Mulberry, Luxurious Mauve, and Precious Plum, which is not really a plum at all. But these are a softer lip liner formulation that you can build up and reapply without it getting like chunky or anything. I'm just going to use Brown Tulle, which is a darker brown. Looks scary, but bear with. Taking N23 from BK Beauty. This is why we like the Laura Mercier. They blend out with ease. So with the Natasha Denona, those are more like you get what you get. They set down, they last forever. It's fantastic. But if you want a little bit more flexibility, this is the beauty in the Laura Mercier. Good on the lip liner. I love how you can blur and blend these out. And then lipsticks. My favorite lipstick. I know Huda Beauty is known for her lipsticks, but personally, I've always loved the Natasha Denona, particularly the I Need a Nude line. So I'm wearing the shade Claudia today, which is a warmer nude shade. Actually might be a bit too brown for today's look. Maybe something a little bit more pinky berry. Hold on. She has lots of colors. I'm just gonna pinky peachy it up and mix in a little bit of peony. We're just gonna mix. That helps. That matches the eyelid color better. Okay. But her lipsticks are super duper creamy, you guys. And I really love the color range that she has. And yeah, she has some very nude shades as well. Pinky shades. I know my lips are crusty. I just let it be. It's winter right now, okay? Everything is dry on me right now. And I don't even know if it's due to the pregnancy, but I'm gonna blame it on that. I'm pregnant, weird things are happening. Like the back of my hands have never been so scaly. Also, anyways. So this is a look using some of my favorites from the best early Black Friday deals. As always, I will have all of the deals, the codes, the products, the shades, everything I use listed down below. I will also have everything tagged in YouTube shopping. However, I do recommend shopping from the links this time around. I know BK Beauty, you can shop through the YouTube shopping tab, but I'm pretty sure the rest shop through the links down below if you're watching this during Black Friday time, because that will take you to the actual deals. But I really like the look. It's glam, but it's still soft. I think it's a beautiful look for the upcoming holidays, and it's all using products that are on a pretty steep discount right now. So if there are any amazing Black Friday deals that I missed, make sure you share them down below, and make sure you have my notification bell on and follow me on Instagram, because I of course will be updating you as the Black Friday sales come in. I even created a Black Friday sale highlight tab on my Instagram if you want to check out there. Normally what I put in the photos is what products I recommend, but just wanted to play around with some makeup and talk about some of the fun shopping deals. I'm trying to go to the mall next week. I don't know. I don't want to go on Black Friday, but like maybe a couple days earlier. Wouldn't that be fun? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.
It's delicious.